Hello, welcome to Funeral Facts with Deacon Marc. We're going to continue our conversation about pre-planning, and we talked about the fact that there's several areas to do pre-planning in, that there's the funeral home side of things, the cemetery side of things, and the church side of things. Today I want to talk about the cemetery side of things and give you some questions to begin to start to think about, but in the end I'm going to talk to you about the fact that it really helps to have a specialist to work with you on the cemetery, but there's things that you can start thinking about so that you are prepared when you come to the specialist to help you out. So when you're thinking about cemetery, the first real question you have to ask with all of this is, do I want to be cremated or do I want a traditional burial? And that is absolutely fundamental to it because that then guides all your other questions. Once you decide that, then let's talk about cemetery, and let's assume that you are looking at a traditional burial. And most of this, actually all of this will apply to cremation, but just for our conversation, we'll talk traditional burial. The next question that you have to answer is, do I want to be above ground or below ground? And for both cremation and traditional burial, you can be below ground or above ground. Below ground, buried, or above ground in a mausoleum, a columbarium, or some type of structure that houses those that have passed away above ground. And so that's an important decision to make. Some people that feel very, very strongly about this. I was in San Francisco about a year ago, and a guy came up to me, he's like, I don't want to be anywhere underground. I don't want to be anywhere where water could touch me. I want to be on the top floor of the mausoleum. And I said, well, you can talk to one of the people here who can help you out with that. And so talking about, do you want it above ground or below ground? And some of those have some different implications. The other question is, does location matter to you? A cemetery, unfortunately or fortunately, is just like real estate. Some places are very expensive in the cemetery, some places are less expensive. A couple of years ago, I started talking about this to my wife, and I came home from work and I said, honey, I picked out a perfect spot, a cemetery spot for us. And she instantly interrupted me. Knowing my personality, she said, let me guess, it's the most expensive spot in the cemetery. And I said, yes. And so it was on the lake, in our Stations of the Cross, overlooking the mountains, just absolutely gorgeous. And her response was, honey, you're dead, it really doesn't matter. And I want the cheapest place possible. So one of the conversations is, do you want the cheapest? Or do you want the most expensive? Do you want a view? Do you not want a view? Or doesn't it matter? And so what is that location that you want for your family? Not only geographically, do I want to be in North Denver, South Denver? Do I want to be in Ohio? But within the cemetery, does that location matter to you? And then the third piece with the question I would argue that you want to think about is, who's going to help you out with this? Earlier this year, my daughter bought her first house. Very proud of her. And she said, you know what, Dad, I'm going to do it without a real estate agent. She's like, I can save thousands of dollars. Do you know how much I pay this guy to be my real estate agent? I said, yep. And you're going to be thankful. He's going to actually save you money in the end. And she came to me after she bought the house and said, yes, he was so good to have the real estate agent. He helped me through things and actually got me things that actually saved me money in the end. I would really recommend working with one of our family service advisors. They can take you around the cemetery, look at all the different options that are out there. Some people have extended family, and I've had questions like, can my husband and I and a child be all buried in the same plot? And the family service advisor can work with you to help you answer your questions, look at your needs, and find out what's going to be most beneficial to you. And so here are the couple questions for you to think about with regard to cemetery is, do you want a traditional burial or a cremation? Do you want to be above ground, below ground, and does location matter? And then once you have those things in mind, I would suggest giving us a call, talking to one of our family service advisors, and they can help guide you through the process and help you find that perfect spot for you and or your loved one for all of eternity. This is Funeral Facts with Deacon Marc. Have a blessed day.